Good evening from Southeast Asia. This will be episode or volume number 244 of the AlienAnalProbe.com podcast. All tapes are copyright 2023 by StockPhotosWorldwide.com. There's a number of sites that carry these things, plus all the RSS feeders around the world. I suppose. I don't know. I don't look anymore. I don't care. I just don't care. Let's see. What else am I supposed to say? I'm supposed to say some other stupid crap. I don't know. I don't care. Okay. We have a giant collection of alien reports. Getting smaller. We started out with 9,400. And as soon as I start talking, the street racers come. It's been silent here for hours and hours. We're way up on 26 in a little concrete bunker, and this is no words. Might as well be in America. No, that would be worse. That would be 10 times worse. Well, and then in America, you got the gunshots. At least they're easier to edit out in post, you know. I see one app has a lot of the better, more higher end audio apps have presets. You can just hit a preset. It'll take out almost all siren noise or almost all dog barking or stuff like that. It knows the frequencies it's at. And one of them had a preset for gunshots. Oh, yeah, they got to be living in California. Okay. Jeez. Okay. We got 8,000 of these turkey things left. We go through them one by one, line by line, look for bullshit. We usually find it. Usually. Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, we're careful. Okay. We're really, really careful. Err on the side of caution, Okay. I'm having a hard time concentrating tonight. Stupid street racers are throwing me off my game here. From 26, when the eggs hit the hood of their cars, it's pretty impressive. I got a story about that. I used to fly a lot, and I got the idea one day. I had an old Luscombe airplane, and I got the idea one day that it was a nice summer day, and all kinds of my friends were all out there at the airport, and just hanging around looking at airplanes and stuff. And I thought, man, wouldn't it be fun to pelt them with eggs? Because we always did shit like that. We did stuff way worse than that. Statutes have run out, don't worry. So we went up, and it wasn't a very fast plane, 105 miles an hour, something like that. I might have slowed down. I'm not sure. I don't remember. And we got over, got the eggs ready, had about a half a dozen, maybe had a whole dozen. I'm not sure, because we were going to pelt them good. And we were up a ways, like, let's see, the pattern I think was probably 900 feet. So we were probably 400 or 500 feet above the pattern, something like that. Yeah. Well, in retrospect, hindsight is 2020. Oh, hell. So got over the target. The first target was going to be a group of about 5 friends. I think they were standing in kind of a little circle, just talking about airplanes and the idiots who fly them, stuff like that. And my friend handed me an egg and opened the window. I was wishing for some of those old style World War II bombardier sights, So you just judge it as best you can. You try to take into consideration the airspeed of the airplane and how far that egg is going to travel, before it slows down and any crossed winds on the way down, stuff like that, And I thought, God, this is going to be just hilarious. Man, when I land, we're just going to laugh and laugh and laugh. And I got ready. and lined it up as well as I could, and I gave it a little toss. I mean, there's no point in throwing it, for God's sake. You're already doing 100 miles an hour. You just give it a little toss. And pulled back that power and circled around and watching. I lost sight of the egg, but I thought, well, maybe I would see it hit or something. If I didn't see it hit, maybe I would see everybody jump and run, or something like that. That'll be funny, right? And they were standing in an area of, they were standing in one of the old taxiways. It was really hard-packed chip gravel. Been there 100 years, and, it's about half as hard as concrete. And couldn't see the egg. Waiting. And then I see the little explosion. And it hit about 7 feet in the back of him. It was a really good aim. It was just incredible aim. Just like brilliant, And they got splattered, and then, except that I could see a mark on the ground. Even from 13, 14, 1,500 feet, I could see a mark on the ground in this hard-packed gravel. And it was black, or no egg color. And I did the quick math, and I thought, oh, shit. And fortunately, I was really close to the edge of the airport. I was over the taxiway, and just a little ways away, just about 4 seconds away, was a ridge, covered with trees. And I kept the power off. I had enough airspeed, and I rolled over and dove down for that hill. And I got the airplane down about 30 feet above the treetops, so they couldn't see me anymore. And I flew away. I just flew away. I knew what had happened. It had made a crater. And probably there was like shrapnel, from the chip gravel. And I flew around until my fuel got low, a couple hours. And then I went back and I landed. And, I wasn't going to go in the restaurant. I just walk by, don't look the other way. No, just casual. And I walked by. And I went around the corner, went past the airport, and went around the corner. Past the restaurant and went around the corner. And there was one of the guys was just coming out of one of the hangars. He was one of the guys who had been down there. I knew by the color of his hat, And I said, hey, Bob, how you doing? And he said, okay, yeah, no problem. A little while ago, this afternoon, damnedest thing happened. We were standing there talking over by Frank's airplane, We don't know what the fuck it was. Like, maybe some kind of teeny tiny micro meteorite, What in the hell? Come here. I want to show you the hole. I'm like, oh, what the hell? I never heard of nothing like that, Holy crap. What the hell? Anybody hurt? Oh, no. Just little bruises on the backs of their legs, So we walked over. There was about 50, 80 feet, something like that. Walked over, and here was this hole about the size of a pizza tray, pizza pan thing. So 18 inches, maybe. And in the center, probably 7 inches. To be really, not exaggerate, probably 7 inches deep. And all the material that had been in that crater was somewhere else, like embedded into the asses of those guys who were standing there. And I said, what the hell? There was no trace of any egg at all. There was no shell. There was nothing. I mean, when that sucker hit, it vaporized. just sublimated into the air, I don't know what its terminal velocity was. It had to have been around probably an egg. I'm thinking about 200 miles an hour. And I said, oh my God, Bob, what the hell? What could that have been? And I said, I don't know. We've been walking around, and nobody can figure it out. We were just standing there, and then, kapow! And everybody's being pelted, God, it's lucky nobody was hurt. I could have poked an eye out, And I said, oh, son of a bitch. God, I don't know what could have done that. I got a feeling, maybe, I know what it was. Bob, I read about this. Sometimes somebody 5 miles away, they shoot a gun up into the air. Like a 45-degree angle. Maybe they're trying to shoot a bird or some goddamn thing. We don't even know. And they shoot up into the air, and if it's a high-powered rifle, that bullet just goes and goes and goes and goes. It can go miles. Really, truly, it can go miles. And got to come down somewhere, Bob. You guys are really lucky that didn't go through the top of somebody's skull. Fucking assholes. If I was you, I'd call a sheriff. Because, fucking lunatic like that has got to be fucking stopped, Bob. It's got to be stopped. And Bob's scratching his chin. And, I don't know. Maybe we should. I don't know. We couldn't find anything in that hole, Didn't find any bullet or anything. We dug around in there a little bit. I don't know what we should do, Even if it was somebody shooting a gun, if he's 5 miles away, they're never going to find him, I suppose it's just one of those fluky things, I just going to let it go, I suppose. Man, it's just really lucky. And I said, God dang it, I'm glad nobody was killed, Bob, Son of a bitch. If I ever hear of anybody doing something like that, I'll fucking kill him myself. I'll kill him myself, Bob. And Bob's like, yeah, well, I don't know, just keep your ears open. Maybe you hear something, I said, yeah, okay. Okay, Bob, see you later. Yeah, see you, man. Have a good day. That's what you do. Okay. And once again, I don't remember how we got off on that. Okay, location is Germany. Exact location not given. Germany. That's good. We don't care. It's Germany. That's what we don't care. Summer 1959. 1959, as I recall, was a very good year for the aliens. I just see on the news tonight they've got a new case. Really pretty dramatic sighting over an Air Force base in California. It happened 2 years ago, but it's just now really coming into public view. And they got some fairly good, except sort of good video that shows a big triangular craft, and there are 50 witnesses, 50 pretty reliable witnesses. They didn't come pouring out of some bar. Most of them are military. I think it's out around 29 Palms. You can Google it and you can find the pictures. When I looked at it at first, I thought, oh, flares, because I lived around a couple of air bases and I really used to seeing flares, and that's what I saw in Phoenix. Also, flares. Supposedly there were 2 different sightings in Phoenix. The only one I ever saw on TV was flares. Absolutely stake my life on it. Stake Frankenberry's life on it. Even though he's got a gun. Where is that little fuck? He's flying around here somewhere. Let's see which. He's in back of me or something. Fuck, I can feel his goddamn little fucking cat breath on me. Little jackass. Fucking. Anyway, okay. The 9-year-old witness had strayed from a picnic into some nearby woods when suddenly she had the feeling that she was being watched. And we've talked about this 10,000 times. I have proven it by photography, proven it. If you go to the stockphotosworldwide.com page, which is the owner of this page, I talk about that quite a bit in various pages. under various images, and explained why I believe that was proven that people, not all the time, but quite a bit, they know when they're being watched. Holy crap. It was spooky watching that play out when I was doing photography over in Thailand. I spent about one particular year that I was there, I just took photos all day, every day. That's all I did. And I've got 107,000 photos in the Lightroom archives, that I haven't even processed. 107,000. I'm a little bit behind. But anyway, lots and lots and lots of those. I was taking pictures from a very hidden place, not because I was trying to be hidden, but just because that's where the air conditioning was. And about 10,000 times, people would be driving by or walking by on their motorbikes, and they're on a busy street, all kinds of activity everywhere, heavy traffic. And all of a sudden, boom, chunk, they jerk their head and they're looking straight into my lens. And half the time they couldn't even see it. I was inside of a doorway, dark. You couldn't see the camera. They felt it. They felt it, and they knew it, and they looked. Man, it was really, really eerie. But I proved it beyond my satisfaction that sometimes you can feel when something's looking at you. And it's not a nice feeling. I don't think it's ever a nice feeling. It's like, what the hell? What the hell? Okay, anyway, this stupid little tart ran away from the picnic. Yeah, well, that's what the goblins are waiting for Christ's sake. That's what they're hoping for. Come on, little girl, come over here. Look, here's the bunny. Look at the bunny. Look. And they scare a rabbit and make it run. And then the little girl's like, oh my God, it's a bunny. Maybe it can be my friend. And she runs, and then the goddamn goblins get her. Jesus Christ. I mean, there was a reason for the old Grimm's fairy tales and all those horrible stories. It was to scare the living bejesus out of children so they didn't freaking run away in the woods, and do other stupid shit. That's what they were for, and they worked. And now they're, politically incorrect or something. I don't know what, talking about witches is racist or sexist or, what the fuck. Save your kid's life, Okay, so she ran away in the woods. Suddenly she had the feeling that she was being watched. Well, she was. Indeed, she was. She then found herself facing a short, luminous being wearing a luminous, reflective, seamless suit. Okay, well, we've talked a billion times about the tight-fitting silver suit. This doesn't say that exactly, but luminous being, what the hell? A luminous being would have to have come from a really, really dark environment, really dark planet, right? So they developed some kind of self-luminosity so they could, see around. I mean, when their species is young and new, they don't have flashlights. So there are things in the ocean that do that, I suppose, so they can see other stuff, so they can eat other stuff and boink other stuff, and Okay, so it's a luminous being, and he's also wearing a luminous, reflective, seamless suit. Okay, the being had a triangular face with cat-like. Oh my God, the being had a triangular face with cat-like eyes. Frankenberry, where are you, little shit? You hear that? There's cats. There's cats in space. And they're coming here. And they're coming here to eat your goddamn liver, you little shit. Crap in that bucket one more time. I'm going to place an ad, Frankenberry. You little bastard. I'm going to place an ad for the aliens. I'm going to tell them, free cat. Free cat. Come and get it. Yeah, fuck you too, asshole. Jesus Christ. Okay. The being had a triangular face with cat-like eyes. Oh, cat-like eyes. Okay, I got to say something again. There are a number of reports. Not too many. I wish there was more. There are a number of reports. How many? I'm thinking somewhere between 3 and 5 out of this whole 9,400 caseload thing about 3 to 5 reports that I can remember. There could be a few more. The trouble is, it's really hard to do a string search for cat. If you put a space before cat, then you get everything else that has cat in it. You can't put a period after cat. Because there might not necessarily be a period after the cat in that instance. It's a hard thing to look for. Anyway, somewhere 3 to 5, something like that, where people say they were somewhere. Flying saucer comes down, and what comes out but some big old 5 to 6 foot cats standing upright, walking around. And they say they look just like cats in every respect, except they walk upright. So, Frankenberry takes solace in that thing that someday they're going to rule the universe, come back here and kick ass on us. And he might be right, and I hope he does, more power to him. The weird thing is that a couple of those reports sounded really somewhat credible, possibly potentially somewhat credible, as far as I'll go. And it altered very slightly the way I look at cats forevermore. I look at them as though maybe, possibly, potentially, there is more to them than we think. Not that the cats on Earth are sentient alien spies, nothing like that. But maybe they will one day, billions and billions of years on some other planet in a galaxy far, far away, evolve to be standing up, bipedal cats. I don't know. I think not, but, try to keep an open mind. When you got an open mind, you got to keep the duct tape around. The Gorilla brand works best, and you keep the duct tape around, because if you open your mind too much, your brain starts falling out. So you got to tape that sucker up. Okay. Cat-like eyes. This one only has cat-like eyes, I guess. Well, triangular face. Could be kind of cat-like. The witness had the impression that the creature had been caught by surprise. And what was he doing? Was he flying saucer parked next to the school? Yeah. Yeah, she's in the woods. Okay. The witness had the impression that the creature had been caught by surprise and that he had been inspecting the plant life in the area. Well, that's really commonly reported, and I like that, because that fits kind of sort of with notions of what I think they ought to be doing when they come here. Collecting plants and twigs and stones and frogs and flies and shit like that. That's really all I want them to be doing, So when they report that that's what they're doing, then I'm pretty happy. Forget that probe and shit. That's this way lies madness. Okay. Expecting. Next thing that the witness remembers was blacking out. Well, I don't know. Do you remember blacking out? Yeah, you do. Because things go gray and then you fall down. Okay. Next thing that the witness remembers was blacking out and seeing some lights. Later, she found herself back in the picnic with her family, feeling very strange. How old? Oh, this is a 9-year-old girl. Okay, I kind of don't like this one, but not for the reason you think. Every once in a while, I get one of these that, I don't know, it does something. It stabs at my heart a little bit. It's a really common phenomenon with the human brain. When something happens that you cannot possibly understand, the brain will try to ascribe the next best thing to it. That's why ink blots work. You look at a random ink blot or a cumulus cloud, and the brain goes, well, I have no freaking idea what that is, but okay, I cannot let it go unidentified, so it looks like a horse's face. Okay, like that. That's what the brain does. That's one thing the brain does. The other thing that happens is that people, when something traumatic happens, they have a tendency to sort of blank out and feel very strange. There's no mention here of any kind of flying saucer. God dang it. I don't know. I could be really, really wrong. I hope I'm really, really wrong. I almost have the impression that possibly. I had this friend. She was a polygraph examiner, and she had the contract for the state to do the polygraph testing on all of the pedophiles that the prisons let out on condition that they got tested every so often, like every couple of days, once, twice a week, sometimes every day. And she would test them. And if it turned out that they had thoughts of doing bad things, even just a thought of it, bam, back in that slammer. So fast they didn't even know what happened. And she was an expert. She was the most intelligent person I ever knew with regard to that issue, to pedophiles and pedophilia and all that stuff. And she taught me a great deal until I couldn't take anymore. I just had to say stop. I can't process any more of this evil, black, tarry fucking shit. Anyway, she taught me a lot. And I'm wondering, she had a really bad thing happen. She had a pedophile, a really evil pedophile, come after her. It was probably one that she had put back in prison, and then he eventually got out, and then he came after her. Scared her so badly that she abandoned the business and disappeared. I don't know where she is. But I would love to have her read this report, not tell her anything about it, just have her read it and tell me what she thinks, because I got a bad feeling here. I got a feeling this little girl out exploring, stumbled on a pedophile. Something bad happened in the woods. He let her go, ran away. And she wandered back to the picnic and felt very strange. She remembers blacking out, seeing some lights. God damn it. Maybe not. Maybe she saw an alien look like a cat. Or maybe she stumbled on a pedophile who was in the woods watching the picnic. Which one's more likely? God damn it. I really hate these because, this is 1959. There's, I just feel really sad about that stuff. It's, predators, just predators. I'm not going to score this thing at all. I'm just going to say, I'm sorry. I hope that didn't happen, and let it go. Okay. Yeah, that was a lot of fun, wasn't it? Oh, these are just so funny. And oh my God. Here's Aberdeen, Washington, summer 1959, times afternoon. I've been there. They get something like 60 inches of rain a year, and it's all drizzle. It just never stops. It can rain 100 days in a row. And it does, often, very often. There's a resort north of there. They advertise if you make a reservation, a few weeks in advance, and if it happens to come on a day that it does not rain, your stay is free. It's a lovely, just shit. I was walking there one time up in the mountains, and on a trail, walking along, and it was a summer, I think, so it was warm, but I was in shirt sleeves. And I looked up ahead, and there was a mountain that was white, covered, not a mountain, it was a hill, big hillside, white. It was just covered in white. And I thought, what the hell? How can there be snow here this time of year? I don't even feel cold. What is this crap? And I just kept walking, and I got up next to it. And eventually realized it wasn't snow at all. It was mold. Whole hillside, whole thing. Yeah. Yeah. That's why there's not huge cities out there. Okay. Summer 1959 afternoon. On a Friday afternoon, Shirley Tebow was driving to her home in the suburbs of Seattle. What the hell is that? That's not Aberdeen. Suburbs of Seattle. See, some of these reports are just whacked. Let's see, 90, 100, it's at least 120 miles from Seattle to Aberdeen. That ain't no suburb. God. Okay, but when she barely noticed a tall, angular man hunched at the shoulder of a curving stretch of highway. Okay. She had never before picked up a hitchhiker, yet for some reason she felt an inner compulsion to offer this man a lift. Okay. Yeah. Not even if you hold him at gunpoint in the backseat. No. Not anymore. I'm not sure that was ever a good idea. Not even in 1940. But now it is, how do you say, what's that word? Suicide. Yeah, that's the word. Most people know that, but some don't. God dang it. Okay, so almost without volition, she backed her car along the shoulder of the freeway. It's on the freeway. Huh. Man, people are stupid. Well, 1959. No, she wasn't that stupid in 1959. You could still, you had a high chance of survival if you did that in 1959. Yeah. Okay, so, yeah, okay. Sorry, lady. Sorry, Shirley Tebow. She backed her car along the shoulder of the freeway, but began to tremble with fright when he slid into the seat beside her. Don't be afraid, Shirley, she reports that he said. Oh, God. She wondered how he knew her name. Yeah, no shit. Yeah, that's something you'd be wondering about. That's when you chamber around. Right at that instant, you chamber around and you pointed at his biggest body mass and you say, get out, get the fuck out. Just get out now. Just get the fuck out. 1, 2, boom, 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 boom. And you open the latch on the door and you push it open and you kick him into the ditch. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. She noted other odd things about her new companion, although it was a steaming summer day. No, it wasn't. Well, it could have been. Let's see, they just say summer. Well, Aberdeen gets about 3 days a year. It might hit 80. Okay. Could be raining in 80, so that would be steaming, I guess. Okay. He wore a heavy pinstriped suit with wide, out-of-date lapels. Well, he's alien. He's alien. No question. And a wide-brimmed black hat pulled low over his eyes. No, he's a pervert. God, Jesus. Suddenly, he was telling her things about herself that she had never told anyone, and she had the weird sensation that she had known him all her life. Well, I'm sorry, a really clever talker can do that. Really, they can. They can. If that ever happens to you, find some friends, stay with them, and then check that guy out. God, I was in federal law enforcement several lifetimes ago, and I wasn't in this kind of stuff at all. I was in a particular area of it in the central U.S. But it's still instincts. You learn such a mistrust for people, and then as you get older, it gets worse. Increasingly suspicious. Oh, good girl. She pulled into a roadside restaurant area, hoping that the hitchhiker would look for another ride. You don't have to do that, Shirley. You say, get the fuck out, asshole. My car. Get out. Now. I got 23 rounds here, jackass. How many do you want? That's real. I'm not bullshitting. That should be the conversation, word for word, verbatim. That should be it. Okay. Even in 1959, if he's so weird that he knows everything about her, okay, she's going to end up saying it was some kind of alien creep is a thing, probably, but well, let's see what she's got. What you got here, Shirley? But he followed her inside and sat quietly while she ordered coffee and an ice cream cone, declining anything for himself. God almighty. She offered the stranger ice cream, and he appeared to study the cone for a long time before tasting it. Okay, I hate to say it, but this is very commonly reported, when in the reports that seem credible, aliens and men in black and all that shit, they don't seem to know what anything is. And that's been reported for 100, 200 years that I can remember, probably way back before that. So, it gets a teensy little shred of credibility, possibly, potentially, maybe for that one little thing. They returned to the car and were cruising through Tacoma. Okay, Tacoma's 90 miles from Aberdeen. Before Shirley realized that she had no idea of her passenger's destination. Well, I just go along with you, Shirley, and when we come to a place where it's out in the woods and there are no people around, I'm going to have you pull over because I'll have to go to the bathroom. And then, you see that little dirt road up there? Just pull up that little dirt road there, Shirley, and I won't be but a second, Shirley. You just wait for me, please, okay? Yeah, that's how it goes. I stopped a kidnapping one in that part of the world. Guy, it was a Marine drill sergeant from Fort Lewis up there by Tacoma, and he had a 14-year-old girl in the back of his car all tied up. He had his gloves on and stuff, but long story short, I stopped him, but this is the kind of shit, Good. Okay. They returned to the car and were cruising through Tacoma. Shirley realized that she had no idea of her passenger's destination. Okay. Oh, this will be fine, he said vaguely. She stopped the car, and he smiled and called goodbye. As she pulled back onto the roadway, she glanced in the rear view mirror for a last glimpse of the stranger. But of course he was gone. We knew that was going to happen. People say this all the time. What I realize is, and I realize it more and more as I get older and slower, you turn away for a second and you turn back. All kinds of stuff has happened. I noticed that in aviation. I drove semi-rigs for a long time. I was an instructor and I can't think of the word, examiner. I was an examiner. And you can't look away. That's all. You can't look away. That's why everybody dies when they're texting on their phone. Oh, I'm only going to look at this one little sentence. What did she say? Kaboom! Because all kinds of shit has happened when they're looking away and they don't realize that's going to happen. Okay, so when people say this in these reports, I just looked away and I looked back and he was gone and there was nowhere he could go. It was a flat alkali flat for 2,000 miles in all directions, but he's gone. No, you didn't look away for a second. You looked away for 9 seconds, and he had time to do whatever the hell he wanted. Okay, she pulled off the road, looking frantically up and down the highway. There was nowhere for him to hide. Yeah. Yet he was nowhere to be seen. Okay, he had vanished. Another man, a neighbor known as Everett, reported a very similar encounter with an equally described and garbed man who also mysteriously disappeared after a short car ride. Okay, this isn't aliens. This is, at the very best, this is like a ghost story or something. the first 300 of these that you read, that's kind of interesting. Well, can you imagine that? Yeah, I wonder what I would do. But after 300, you say, bullshit. Okay. Pennsylvania, exact location not given. Why not? Summer 1959. They don't have a month. They don't have times. Late evening. They don't have a time. Okay, this will be it. The witness was, oh hell, we're over our time. God bless it. Jeez. We're supposed to be doing 30 minutes. What the hell? Okay. Late evening. The witness was sitting in his lounge chair, reading, dozing, but was at the same time tense and restless. I don't like anything where the witness was, even remotely approaching anything sleeping. Because stuff can happen. A couple of days ago, the doctor gave him some new meds, and God knows what they are going to see when they're dozing. Hell. But was at the same time tense and restless. Yeah, a little amphetamine mixed in there. You don't know. Something seemed to be at the back of his mind. Yeah, insanity. No, he's probably a nice guy. I'm just shut up. Just shut up until you find out. Suddenly, he looked toward the door. Somehow, he knew someone was at the other side. Well, might not necessarily mean he is psychic. It could be heard the shuffling of some shoes or, Okay, he lay his book down, got up and went to the door, opened it a crack, and looked out. Okay, there's no point in opening your door a crack. Don't even bother. Once that latch unclicks, whoever's out there has got you. Forget the crack thing. Even the stupid little chains, my cat could break those chains. Shit. Okay. Paranoid much? Yeah, actually, yeah. There were two men dressed in black there. They looked like identical twins. Well, might they be men in black? Why aren't there never women in black? That would be far more interesting. Huh. If they were, would they be hot? Hey baby. First time on Earth? Yes, thank you. We have some high protein food. It's certified safe for aliens. You want to try it? It's in liquid form, so you don't need no teeth. Okay. Thank you, Earthling. And, you get a big, tall tumbler of Johnny Walker. And you say, this is going to sting just a little bit. But if you drink this, you won't have to eat for 2 weeks. It's that concentrated. Oh, okay. When in Rome. And she downs it. And then the fun starts. Yeah, okay. I mean, that would be sexist, right? Well, you can't be sexist with a goddamn alien. Okay. They look like identical twins. There's two of them. Okay. They were dark complexioned with oriental eyes. Okay, that's pretty much why I live in Southeast Asia. But they were definitely not Orientals. Well, that muffs that up, doesn't it? Hell. What the hell? They never said a word, but the witness heard in his mind, quote unquote, God damn, why did they beat me? Why did they do this? What's the name of this website? It's alienanalprobe.com. My professional lighting system is falling down. Oh, hell. Okay. That Scotch tape is coming. I used to be really good at this stuff, 20, 30 years ago. Now I ain't really good. Nope. Okay. So, let's just start this whole thought again. They never said a word, but, I mean, the two men in black things. They never said a word, but the witness heard in his mind, comma, quote. Here we go. We're winding up for the pitch. Are you ready? Come on. Dirty minds think alike, don't they? And you're thinking, and I'm thinking, and we're both thinking, and we know what each other's thinking. Are you ready for what? Do you feel lucky, punk? I want to have a bird. I'll teach him to say only that. No, two things. He'll say, are you ready? Are you ready? Do you feel lucky, punk? Shit. Oh, yeah, okay. He does not know why, but for some reason he was ready to go. Go. What? He does not know why, but for some reason he was ready to go. He was ready to rock and roll, baby. And the two men, they stand up and they remove objects from their pockets, each one of them. And they push a button. And each object begins to rotate and twirl and vibrate. And then they had a little packet of lube. No, didn't say any of that shit. Of course, you know it didn't. I wish it would. He does not know why, but for some reason he was ready to go. Ready to, yeah, okay, I'm thinking, geographically go, not go, say Pulp Fiction, Since it was so terribly hot that night, he had stripped. Oh, please. Why? I try to abandon the foolishness and the nonsense and just read it, and then they throw the shit in there. And you can't. You can't. No one could. Gandhi couldn't. Okay. They never said a word, but the witness heard in his mind, are you ready? He does not know why, but for some reason he was ready to go. Since it was so terribly hot that night, he had stripped down to his birthday suit, so when he reached for a pair of walking shorts, oh no, I know what's coming. I know. I can't get through it, can I? They're not going to let me. They're not. Moment of silence, please. Well, I could just pause it then, can't I? I could just pause it and you'll never know frickin' how long I paused it for. Okay, that was for a really long time. I'm trying to just do a straight read here, I'm trying to be scientific, but, it's not possible. Oh, please, Great Pumpkin, give me strength to get through this fucking bullshit. So it was terribly hot that night. He had stripped down to his birthday suit. It gets worse, people. It gets worse. I'm sorry. So when he reached for a pair of walking shorts, again, he heard in his mind, oh, you're going to love this one. You're going to love it. Quote, how can you quote a telepathic thought, for Christ's sake? Anyway, they quoted it. They got a quote. That will not be necessary. I was making up the part about the anal probes, in their pockets, but now I'm virtually positive they had them. And he's ready to go, so you know what the hell. They stepped out in the hall, and instantly they were on top of a flat hill in back of the apartments. That's a cool trick, and we hear it quite a bit. I don't know how the hell they do that. I mean, how would you know if that happened? If that happened, you'd just be thinking, "Oh man, I had a little cerebral event there. I blacked out. I had a little mini stroke. Oh shit! I hope it doesn't happen again." You would never know that it was some alien thing that they teleported you. The witness was rather surprised that the scene had changed so quickly. Oh yeah, no shit, Dad. What are we talking about? Yeah. He noticed that the headlights of a car coming down the street. Wait. He noticed the headlights of a car coming down the street, and he ducked behind the two men. Oh, yeah, because he's naked. Dumbass. Now, wait a minute. He says he heard someone outside the door or something, and he went to the door. He opened it a crack. There's two men out there dressed in black. They look like this and this and this. And he just opens the door. He's naked. What is this, a night of the living pedophiles? What the hell? When it's really hot here, I don't go naked, because then you're all sweaty, and you don't want to get all sweaty on the furniture and stuff like that, especially if it's leather or vinyl. No, I want clothing. Do some people go around naked if in their inside their own home when it's really hot? I don't know. I never have. Never will. Oh, God. Okay. He noticed the headlights of a car coming down the street, and he ducked behind the two men. Now he's modest. He then heard some laughter in his mind. Quote, "We told you no one would see you. Try it." This is going to get worse. I can tell it's slipping. It's slipping to a slippery slope right now. He then boldly stepped around in front of them. Is this San Francisco? Where is this? Pennsylvania, 1959. This is San Francisco, 2023. He then boldly stepped around in front of them, spread his feet apart, show him his big wiener, propped his hands on his hips, daring anyone to see me. Okay, that's like first person, I guess now. We've lapsed into that. I don't think you would have to be so dramatic about it. If you're going to test it out, you wouldn't have to. You test it out in little starts and fits. You wouldn't jump out in the middle of the road and start masturbating, for Christ's sake. You'd go up from behind the two guys just a little bit, and then the car goes past, and see if they stare at you. And shit. I'm pretty close to calling bullshit on this one. But the car with a man and woman in it passed a few feet from them, not even looking in their direction. Well, I've always said that I want invisibility. There are two things I want in life. I want an anti-gravity belt, and I want invisibility. That's all. That's all I want. And if I get that, I'm good to go. And I will turn the world inside out. I will go to every high-level government meeting, and I will listen in and record it, assuming my cell phone is invisible also. I think if you're invisible and your clothes are invisible, you put it in your pocket, it's invisible too. I think that's how it works. And I would record all of their secrets and the discussions of the dastardly shit they're going to do to all the other countries, and then I would go out and I'd play it on the radio. I would do all kinds of stuff like that. Forever. I would dedicate my life to it. I would. Please, aliens, can you give me this shit? I will do it. I will do it. Okay. He turned to say something to his companions, and they were looking up. He followed their gaze and realized that something was hanging there, suspended above them. As he did so, an opening appeared in its center, and blue-white light came tumbling out of it. Tumbling out. What does that mean? Like a bunch of laundry? What the hell? Tumbling out. I don't know what that means. The light's either on or it's off. No, that's not true. People in these reports very often talk about light having all kinds of strange properties. Like a beam will come to a house and then go up the wall and then in the window and then down the wall like that Grinch, under the bed and then under the covers and looking at stuff. You don't even know what it's looking at and you don't want to know. So people say that light can do strange stuff. He felt a queasy sensation in the pit of his stomach. He's just now realizing what's coming. Like when you are in an elevator or an airplane that is dropping too fast. No, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. Because he's on the ground and they're going to suck him up into the flying saucer, you'd be going up. You wouldn't feel the queasiness of dropping. Well, I just said that and then I realized you might. Shit. If hell, I don't know. Let's say they created a teensy tiny little reverse gravity field right above you and that sucked you up. What would you feel? I don't know. It never happened to me. Maybe you would feel some weird thing, I don't know. I barely care. He could see apartment houses and the ground receding below them. Well, is he in the flying saucer or what? No, I think he's still floating up. Holy shit. They were floating up toward whatever the object was. He blacked out as they approached the opening. Its ass, we might presume. When he came to, he was lying on his side facing a wall. Now we know. Name of the website. It's our mantra. Just repeat it over and over and over. Alien anal probe. He rolled over on his back and sat up. He was in an oddly shaped room. How long is this damn thing? Oh my God, no. He rolled over on his back and sat up. And he's still naked, I guess. Well, that saves him some trouble, doesn't it? He was in an oddly shaped room. It somehow resembled a wedge of pie with a point of, read it verbatim. It somehow resembled a wedge of pie with the point of bitten off. That's what it says. With the point of it bitten off, I guess. Yeah. So, okay, whatever. The whole room was bare except for some kind of projection on which he was sitting. Well, that's kind of interesting. What's a year? 59, yeah. This is interesting. It helps his story a little bit because quite a few people, really a lot of people who claim, theyclaim.com, if you want to go there, they claim that when they're inside of these things, they are sparse and Spartan. There ain't nothing in there. There isn't nothing in there that isn't absolutely, positively required. Maybe to save weight, although I got a hunch that weight isn't really a factor for them. I mean, they pick up cows, for Christ's sake, and fat ladies, stuff like that, and cows, fat ladies. I love hate mail. I do. I love it. Give it to me. Give me all of it. Okay. Everything seemed to be made out of a blue-gray material. While the walls were very hard, the surface on he was sitting was very soft, even though everything seemed to have been made of the same material. Well, that's an interesting thing also. I mean, if they can really manipulate material, sure, you would pick the material that you like the most and make the whole damn thing out of it. You need this part hard, you need this part soft, you need this part weak, you need this part strong. Whatever, you just dial it in, whatever you want for this area and that area. Makes sense. So that's an interesting observation. And I've read it before also. The room was bathed in a soft glow, and there were no shadows anywhere. God dang it. Okay, this is reported fairly often. And the notion is that the materials that this thing is built out of put out their own light. They are their own light source. So every wall, every floor, every ceiling, every square inch of everything puts out a little bit of light. And so if every square inch is putting out a little bit of light, nothing has to be bright. Cumulatively, they get all the light they need, and everything is nice, and there's no shadows, and it's just lovely. This was not being reported in 1959 that I recall. So yeah, it's possible, but I'm wondering, I'm thinking maybe he did not go copy this little tidbit from anyone. Maybe. I don't know what the hell. But there was no light source that he could see. Yeah, okay. He then heard a female voice say, "Whoa, he's awake now. Get the probe. Call in the GIMP." He looked around to see if he could spot the speaker, but saw nothing, just the walls. Well, they're looking at him through little cameras and shit like that. Because he's naked, and the female alien thinks he's hot, so she's been looking at him, wondering when's he going to wake up, and what can we do when he was awake. Can't wait, rubbing her little hands together. About this time, on the short wall, a door appeared and opened. He could see into a hallway. Although the hall was dark, here was blue-white illumination that appeared as though it was coming from some great distance. Oh, he's talking like it's a portal. Two shadows flitted across the doorway. He couldn't tell anything about their shapes. The movement was too rapid and too distorted. Oh, man. What was that movie? It was Old Frankenstein. Was it Boris Karloff? No, that was a vampire. It was one of the original vampire movies. And it seems like they started that movie like in about 1810 or something. They started that movie with this really sinister shadow creeping across a wall or something like that. It terrified people back in the day. That was high octane stuff, And the snowflakes don't even know what high octane is. Well, fuck them. Okay, the movement was too rapid and distorted. Okay, it's Boris Karloff, or whoever that vampire was. But he received a mental impression of two people approaching, a man in the front and a woman in the back, carrying a tray full of some kind of surgical instruments and hypodermic syringes. Oh, that was a bad one. That was a clinker. His credibility just went from a gentle, slow upward slope to a nosedive off the cliff for me. I'll tell you why in a minute. His next memory was of being back in his apartment, in his chair, reading his book. You know why that is? Because the whole goddamn thing is a dream. He just fell asleep, dreamed it, woke up, and he's still sitting in his chair holding his book. Ah, shit. An interesting detail was that a book that he had been reading went mysteriously missing for a week after the encounter and was later found right on the same spot where the witness had left it. Well, that happens to me pretty much every day. Hell. Okay. The thing that probably has killed this for me. Okay, the aliens are, if they got here, they're smarter than us, okay? That's a given. They might not be evolved in any other way. They might not be nicer. They might not be kinder. They might not be more spiritual, whatever. But technologically, they are smarter. That's a given. That's a fact. We barely, we're still using hypodermics, but probably not for much longer. I mean, we have other things. We have air injection. We have all kinds of other stuff. The military used that for a long time. They had some problems with it. The problem was, one of the problems was that if you moved, if you jerked, while that thing was injecting, it would pretty much fillet you like a carp. That was a problem. And I think they had some other problems too, but we have other things in the pipe that probably will surpass hypodermics. So if lowly us are that close to being rid of the whole hypodermic thing, I mean, we're not going to be using hypodermics in 100 years. That's for damn sure. If we're that close to evolving beyond them, then I'm pretty sure some aliens who have a big old cool ship like this, probably thousands and thousands of years ahead of us, or at the very least, hundreds, they aren't using hypodermics either. I don't believe it. So I'm calling bullshit on this. I say he slept. I say he was reading a book, he fell asleep, dreamed it, imagined it, whatever, and just wrote it down and turned it in. Okay. Source on this is Brad Steger. I don't know anything about him. I don't really follow the ufologist. But okay, we're way past our time that we'd be done. Any credibility for that thing? Nope. Not one molecule from one grain of sand. Not a damn thing. Hell. That was a bust, I think. Did we give any credibility? I don't think we did. Man, oh man. Okay, well, that's it. We got skunked, but at least it wasn't like whatever number that was, 241, I think. I'm not sure that was a huge negative value. Pretty much made us all go insane and need therapy. It was the ravings of a lunatic woman. She didn't know if she was in New York or Rhodesia. If you start to stumble into that one, just turn it off. Go to another one, because that was. I mean, we did it. We did it all the way through. We dutifully did it. But we have to. We have to. That's our mission. We're scientists, for God's sake. But it was sure a waste of. Well, yeah, it was a waste of time, but it wasn't. On the other hand, it wasn't, because we learned about this whole process. We learned more about the whole process, and that's a good thing. I wonder if there are people in the world who gave any credibility to that one. What number was it? This is 244. Pretty sure it was either 41 or 42. 241 or 242. I should have put some kind of warning, big red warning, danger, Will Robinson. Don't read this, son of a bitch. I didn't, but I should. But anyway, if you want to see what the worst of UFO reporting is, find that thing and then listen to it for 15, 20 minutes and then go throw up somewhere. Okay, so we're done. We all done. Had a lot of fun. Thank you very much, and good evening, and good night.